Well, welcome back, everyone, to Digital Hammurabi. I am Dr. Josh, and we're trying something a little new now. I'm going to record the lesson beforehand and try to get it uploaded separately. And I think this will make things go a little more smoothly. I won't be as distracted. Of course, we are doing our Hebrew lessons, and this week we are in 🀭Support book, lesson 18. We're skipping over lesson 17, and you'll see why when you get to it. But do pick up 🀭Support's book. Title is A Grammar for Biblical Hebrew. It's a very useful resource. This week, we are talking about the imperfect. So what I'm going to do is, as always, go through the grammar, and then we'll do some translation. If you do have questions, please feel free to comment on the video. Obviously, give it a thumbs up. If you like it, share it out. These lessons, of course, are free, and we're just hoping to expose people to biblical Hebrew in these ancient languages. All right, so let's get started. Now, we talked before about the perfect. So if you remember the perfect, when we talk about that, we're talking about things like we use our paradigm shamar. We're talking about shamarti, I guarded, shamarta, you guarded. If you go down to the third masculine singular, you get shamar, he guarded, and so on. The thing to remember about these is no ending there. We're talking about the endings. So in the perfect, you get endings on the verbal forms, and these we've been saying they're basically the past tense. That's not really accurate, but for now it's fine. Just think of perfects as something that happened in the past. This week we're going to be talking about imperfects, and imperfects you can again roughly think of something that's happening that's going to happen in the future. It's action that has not been completed yet. Now again, it's far more nuanced than that, but just so you can kind of get into things here, that will suffice. So when we think about the perfects, we think about suffixes that go on the verb. Well, with the perfect, oops, let me do it this way. Eshmor, the prefix, is what we want to focus on. So you can see the root, shin memresh, to guard. But now instead of there being a T on the end for shamarti, we have eshmor. So there's an aleph on the front, a prefix. And this is the form of the imperfect. So let me go ahead and just run through. And of course, the problem is always trying to keep everything on the screen here, but let me see if I can do it. So the first common singular is esh, more, tish, more, tish, Marie, yish, more, and tish, more. Now let's just talk about these for a second. You'll notice the ending or the prefix aleph for the first person singular, then tishmor, the prefix tav here for the second masculine. I can just write these. How about that? First common singular. So I, second masculine singular. So you, second feminine singular, you to a woman. Third masculine singular, he, she, or he, he or it. And then third feminine singular, she or it. So eshmor, the prefix aleph, is what tells you that's a first common singular. Tishmor, prefix tav. Notice there's a prefix tav here in the second feminine singular, but there's an e suffix that goes on. So tishmari, tishmari. So the tav and the e on the end tells you it's second feminine singular. Then third masculine singular, the yud here, yishmor, and then it's somewhat confusing, but nonetheless, I guess that's just how it is. Tishmor, you can see the second masculine and the third feminine look the same. And of course, that's just something that you have to kind of work out from the context. So eshmor, tishmor, tishmari, yishmor, tishmor, nish, mor, tish, mru, tish, morna, yish, maru, tish. Oh man. See, I run out of room again. Ugh, gosh. All right. Rats. Write it smaller. Tish, morna. So it's the same form. So if I write this like this, so first common plural, second masculine plural, second feminine plural, third masculine plural, third feminine plural. Okay. So eshmor, tishmor, tishmari, yishmor, tishmor, first common plural. Nishmor, tishmaru. So again, prefix tav and then this u ending. Tishmaru, that's second masculine plural. Then tishmorna. I didn't put the accent. A lot of dots and stuff in here. Sorry about that. It's just so condensed. Tishmaru, tishmorna, that's second feminine plural. Yishmaru, third. So notice the yud, tav, 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 tav. It's all pretty consistent. Tishmorna again, tav, tav prefix. So again, this is a paradigm that you're gonna want to memorize. That's just how it is. You want to memorize it. Just like the shamarti, shamarta, shamar, shamar, shamara, shamarnu, shamartem, shamartem, shamru, shamru. You want to memorize eshmor, tishmor, tishmari, yishmor, tishmor, nishmor, tishmaru, tishmorana, yishmaru, tishmorana. It's just what you want to do. Now, these are the Cal forms, right? The simple, the Grundstamm, the simple paradigm. So you can also form, nifal, pl, hifil, pual, hofal, and so on, hitpile in the imperfect as well. But we'll get to those later. So this is the basic. This is the basic paradigm. Now, Sale talks about another kind. I won't go into it. It's a stative, but I'll write it out real quick just so you can see it. Just so you can see the pattern. So 🀭, 🀭. So again, aleph up here, nothing unusual. So 🀭, so kavad, to be heavy. So 🀭, tichbad. Tichbadi. Yichbad. Tichbad. Nichbad. And so on. I won't have to write the whole thing out, but tichbadu, tichbadna, yichbadu, tichbadna. It's the same. The only difference is this a vowel. So instead of it being echbod, this is echbad. But just, the big thing here to pay attention to are the prefixes And then whenever there's a suffix that goes along with it, that's the big thing when you think about the imperfect. So what I would do is just memorize. Let's just write them out. Oops. It doesn't do anything if I click on it there. Let's just write it out one more time. Esh, more, tish, more, tish, Marie, yish, more, tish, more, nish, more, tish, maru, tish. Sorry. Tishmorana. I know I always say this. It's not easy to write on this vertical screen. Tishmorana, then Yish, Maru, and Tish Morana. So Eshmor, Tishmor, Tishmari, Yishmor, Tishmor, Nishmor, Tishmaru, Tishmorana, Yishmaru, Tishmorana. So this is your Cal imperfect paradigm. This is the one you want to commit to memory. And again, remember, it's the prefixes, Aleph, Tav, Tav, Yud, Tav, Nun, Tav, Tav, Yud, Tav, but, and, you know, with the suffixes that show up, but it's just memorizing these patterns. That's what it's about. So Sayal talks a little bit about the uses of the imperfect. We're not going to go into a great deal of detail. I just want to highlight a couple of things. Again, I would highly recommend just picking up Sayal's book and reading through it to get all the, you know, the little nuances that I don't cover in the videos. There is an expression of will called a coordinative, and I'll just talk about that for a second. I'm wondering if I want to talk about it here or wait. No, that's fine. So the coordinative is um, it carries the idea of let me do something, and the example that he gives is not. Uh, uh, so if esh, this isn't the example that he gives, but I'm trying to give one that works. It's going to be a little more familiar. So eshmor is, you know, like I will guard, maybe. If someone were saying, like if you had a soldier and he was, you know, they were saying who's gonna, we need somebody to guard this, you know, gate or something, and somebody says, ooh, let me guard, you know, I want to guard. You know, they call that a coordinative. So it's you know, let me do something. May I do something? There's lots of nuance to it, but the way that they do it often is by putting on a first person, first common singular or plural, this ending. And of course, it draws the accent. And because it draws the accent, you would get, you know, hypothetically, eshmara, eshmara. But that's the coordinative form, but it's that ending that's often used. Let's see, what else does he talk about? He talks about jussives. So I'm pretty sure that we're going to talk about this later. I don't remember in the book. But jussives are essentially a third person coordinative. So let him do something, or may he do something. So the example here that he gives is from the verb shafat, to judge. So shofet is a judge. So the book of Judges is shoftim, shoftim, judges. If you were going to say he will judge, um, sorry, there it is. Yish, sorry, Yishpot. So yishpot, this of course is a begad kafat letter, so it's gonna get a dagashline after the full stop here, the shava. Yishpot. This would be the form if you had this after it, and this is the example that he gives. This would be, may the Lord judge. Now, again, this is all based on context. This could be the Lord will judge, or it could be, may the Lord judge. But this is a jussive. So let him judge. Let the Lord judge between me and you. May the Lord judge between me and you, and so on. Okay. That's basically what I wanted to touch on. And let's just run through it one more time. I know that's a little tedious, but it's very important. This is one of these paradigms. I feel like it's important to just kind of drive it home. What are the forms? So, esh, more, tish, more, tish, Marie, Yish, more, tish, more, nish, more, tish, maru, tish, tishmorana. Sorry, I'm thinking about something that my old professor used to say to help us remember this. I'll tell you in a second. Yish, maru, tish, morana. Put the... All right. So the Mark Meyer was my professor. He was brilliant at teaching biblical Hebrew. He really was. It's honestly, it's sort of what I aspire to, teaching as well as he did the grammar of the Hebrew. But he focused in on, these four endings here can be a little tricky for students. It was for me, or they were for me. And so the way that he helped me memorize this is he said, and again, it's just these endings, so it's just a little thing, but he said, he brought it out of the blue. We can tell just from the writing system that Hebrew is a very ancient language. And of course, we all kind of looked at what are you talking about? And he said, well, look at the endings here. Una. It sounds very cavemanish. Una. So I don't know why, but that has always stuck. Una. So nishmor, tishmaru, tishmorana, yishmaru, tishmorana, una. Okay, anyway, every little bit helps, I guess. So eshmor, tishmari, yishmor, tishmor, nishmor, tishmaru, tishmorana, yishmaru, tishmorana. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into our reading for the week. So again, remember, if you have questions, please put them in the comments section of the video, and we'll try to get to them. Things have been obviously kind of tumultuous here at Digital Hammurabi, but I try to take care of those things as quickly as I can. So. All right, if this is your first time with us, again, please check the description and go back to the beginning if you're interested in learning biblical Hebrew. This is the section, the second half of the video or of these lessons is us reading biblical Hebrew. So it's for more advanced students, for those that have probably taken a year maybe of biblical Hebrew. But of course, it's good for those that are following this series to just kind of follow along. It's good to be exposed to it because we talk about the grammar and the syntax. So let's get to it. So we are going through Melachim Aleph, so First Kings, And we just finished chapter 1. So now we are beginning chapter 2. Again, this is not meant to be some sort of an exegetical exercise. I'm not going to be talking about, a lot of the different details about what is this, who's this person, what's the backstory here. Uh, I may talk about it a little bit, but not much. That's not what this is. It's just to read the Hebrew. Okay. So as we do, I'll read it in Hebrew first, and then we'll go through it. So, Vayik, oh, sorry. Megan's out there talking. I thought she was talking to me. So, Vayikrevu Yemei David Lamut, Vayitzav et Shlomo V'no Lemor. And then he goes into a speech. So, and the days of David to die drew near. So this is an idiomatic expression. So if you think about yom, the word for day, if you put that in the plural, yamim, and then if you want to put that into the construct form, yimei. So the im goes to a, totally expected. The days of David to die. So it's, his life is coming to an end. So the days of David to die or drawing near, karav. So this is a vav consecutive imperfect, third plural. Notice if we did ekrov, tikrovi, yikrov, tikrov, nikrov, tikrovu, tikrovna, yikravu, tikrovna. So this is your cow imperfect, but it's a vav consecutive imperfect. And notice the yud and the vav ending here. So third plural. So the days of David to die drew near, or the days of David to drew near to die. And he commanded, so this is from tzava. Notice when you put a vav on the front, putting it into this vav consecutive imperfect form, a third hey verb, if you were to think about putting a really big, form up here, and this were some sort of a seesaw or something, this guy is going to make it so heavy that hay is just going to pop off. I mean, you can think about it. If you were to slam down a big heavy vav on this end, it's just going to pop that hay right off. So then that means that this vav is, is going to stand here as a consonant vayit sav. So tzava in the PL, this is what this is. So PL, a vav consecutive imperfect, third singular. From tzava in the PL is to command. So, and he commanded Solomon, here's your definite direct object marker. And he commanded Solomon, his son, so it's a word in apposition here, his son, beno. So the O here is the third masculine singular object suffix, saying. So he commanded him, saying, Anochi holech bederech kol haaretz, vechazakta vehayita, hayita leish. So anochi, kind of an older form of I here. So you could have ani or anochi. I am going. So cal active participle, masculine singular, from halach to go. So I am going in the path of all the earth. Literally here. This is an idiom. I'm getting ready to die. Notice when, wow, we've talked about that so often. But anyway, kol haaretz. So all the earth. I'm going the way of all the earth. Here is your cal, vav consecutive perfect. These things are really neat. Without going into a lot of detail here, they can either carry a nuance of like an imperative back here. So if you had like go and be strong, this vav consecutive perfect, that's how it functions. It can carry that nuance. But they can actually do it without having the previous nuance back here. So even though this looks like it should be, and you will be strong, this is an imperatival, nuance, an imperatival idea here. So be strong and be, as a man, or, this is like, what's a good way to say that in English? I hate saying man up because it sounds so sexist, but yeah, I guess that's basically what he's saying. Um, so this is a dying charge, right? He's getting ready to die, and he's saying, "All right, now look, I need you to do what you're supposed to do." Sorry, we're getting an Amber Alert here. Let me just look at that. Okay. So in Grantsville, Maryland, 2010 Blue Mazda 3, just so that everybody can hear that. Be on the lookout for that. It may be obviously too late if you're hearing this later, but on the off chance. Okay, verse 3. V'shemarta et mishmeret Adonai Elohecha. And that's how I pronounce these. I'm sure you've picked up on that. Lalechet bidrachav, lishmor. Lishmor chukotav, mitzvotav, umishpatav, ve'edotav, ka katuv b'torat Moshe. Lema'an taskil et kol asher ta'aseh, et kol asher tifne sham. So nice long sentence here. I may have to end it after this because I can hear things going down outside in the other room, and I think Megan might need some help. So let me just do this one. I know this is a short lesson today, but I think we've packed a lot in. So carrying on the same idea, this imperatival nuance, and guard or keep the, this is saying the same root here and here. So keep the charge maybe of the Lord your God to walk. So lalechet. This is just a cow infinitive construct from halach. Notice it takes this weird form lalechet. One of those things you probably just want to memorize. To walk in his drachim, his ways, his derechs. So in his ways, to keep lishmor. So here is your cow infinitive construct from shamar, lishmor. So his chukot, his like his statutes. Notice the av ending here for the plural form. And then his, so it continues on mitzvot, his commands, lots of words here for like commands, judgments. His customs, it's a little more strong, I think, than custom, but whatever, it doesn't matter. His mishpat, his mishpats. His, why am I blanking on this? Edot, like his, shoot. I'm blanking on the English of this. It's, another term. Let me just look it up real quick so I can not have you guys, and I guess you guys could look it up too, but his testimonies. Yeah. As it is written. So this is a cow passive, masculine singular. So a'u, as it is written, b'torat Moshe, in the law of Moses. Whew. So that, lema'an, so that, or in order that, taskil, a nice hifil form here. So this is a hifil imperfect. Notice if you were to think about this paradigm, askil, taskil, taskili, yaskil, taskil. Notice same prefix, ashmor, tishmor, askil, taskil, so second masculine singular. So that you might be successful is the idea of sachal in the hifil. So that you might be successful and then the object, the thing that he'll be successful with. All that, everything that you do, you will do. Ta'aseh. So the paradigm for imperfect here is a'aseh, ta'aseh, ta'asi, ya'aseh, ta'aseh. So it's from asa. It's the second masculine singular cow, imperfect. In everything that you will do. And so here's your eth here, and then another one here. In everything, literally here, like woodenly, and everything, or in all that you turn there. Right? This is like a resumptive sham. So this is to set your face toward everything that you turn to do, literally, or maybe more idiomatically, everything that you try to do, everything you set your face toward. So if you, just to kind of recap here, if you guard, like if you keep the charge of the Lord your God in order to do his, walk in his ways and to guard all these different types of commands, as it's written in the book of Moses, then, in order that you will be successful in all that you do and in everything that you put your face toward and everything that you turn to. So that's the idea. And of course, verse 4 is going to pick up. We'll pick this up next week or in the next lesson. But, so that you can do more things. But that's going to be it for today. Thank you guys so much for joining in. And until next time, resist poor scholarship. Always ask, how do you know that?